Couple things. I've gotten a tremendous amount out of this already. How about you? As an entrepreneur, as a business owner, as a father, as a husband, I need constant inspiration. And, I'm looking to fill that gap. I'm looking for that potential. And I can only lay so many bricks in the foundation. At some point, I got to add people to the process. I got a little girl. Some of you saw me at lunch. Maybe you came up and got one of my books from me. They're outside. I'm happy to sign it. This is the fifth in a line of 5 books since the Lehman collapse. It's a lot of writing with no ghostwriter. If you ever want to lose money, write a book. Okay, you want to find something harder to sell than a car? Write a book. Okay, do you know that the average American in this country only reads 1 book a year? 1 book a year. Half those books are romance novels. There's no romance in my books. I just don't do romance in my books. So some of you saw me at lunch. I got this little red fingernail that somebody said, "Hey, what's wrong with your fingernail?" I said, "Oh, that's..." And then somebody said, "Hey, he's painting his fingernails now." So now that's my daughter, 3 years old. She is being taught to get what she wants in life. Because she's going to live on a planet with other people. And her success will not be dependent upon what her papa gave her, but what she can go out and get from other people. Would you agree with that? So yesterday, I guess yesterday was Sunday, she's like, "Papa, I want to paint your fingernails." I said, "Well, you can get anything you want in life. You got to talk me into it." And she says, "Papa, please." I said, "You got to bring more than that, little diggity." She's like, "You're the best." I said, "Start painting." So if this offends you, you ought to see my feet because all 10 are done. So, and look, I'll do anything for my kids, and anything, and like many of you in the room will. That means for me getting up, going to work every day, pushing, shoving, and doing whatever's necessary, both to my customers and to the people that work for me, to make sure that we are great, or at least we're not average, because average has reached epidemic proportions in this country. You see it in your dealerships every day. I love give Justin a big hand for emceeing this. Unbelievable. I love you. Where's he at? Where's he at? Okay, love you, man, love you. But let me tell you something. That bird you talked about, I'm killing that bird. Okay? And look, if the bird refuses to fly, I'm going to open the door and say, "Get out, it's my cage and I want it back." Okay? If you got the flu, I don't want the bird flu, bro. Out. I cannot handle average anymore around me. I'm 55 years old. I didn't do anything to get where I'm at today by average. Nothing was given to me. Nothing was passed over to me. Everything was difficult for me. Everything in my life has been difficult for me to get. Even once I accumulated something after a period of 25 or 30 years, I watched Lehman collapse and I watched things being taken from me. And I refuse to have anything else taken from me. And I know this. Bad things happen to good people. Bad things happen to good people because good people refuse to confront bad things. If you ever knew of any bad thing happening to a good person, the good person had something to do with that. They didn't confront the possibility of bad things. And I see it in your dealerships every day, and I want to share this with you. First of all, there's this concept of competition that sets up the problem that I'm about to show you. This morning I talked to you about greatness. Greatness is not involved in this concept of competition. How many of you were taught that competition is a good thing? How many are taught that? No, competition is a good thing for the customer. Competition, by definition from Merriam-Webster, says that it is the effort of 2 or more parties acting independently from one another. This is one dealership operating independently from another dealership on the other end of town, all competing for this third party by offering the most favorable terms. And this is where you get in trouble, because to your people, what does the most favorable terms mean? It means a lower price, right? It means a lower rate. It means more money for the trade-in. It means I'm going to give you my product. It doesn't mean, like in Rick Case, hey, we're going to wash your car once a week because I don't have any more money to give you. It doesn't mean like a Paragon. Hey, we have more value here. We don't turn our salespeople over. You know the name of us when you come here. We take care of you, period. Because if I discount this product $10, does it really change anything for the consumer except make your product and your service and your dealership just a little cheaper on a little more narrow of a margin? Can I just warn you, Sears, JCPenney's got one problem. They don't know how to sell stuff. Ron Johnson comes in selling Apple products, thinks he's going to run JCPenney. Dude, selling this is different than selling a Hanes t-shirt. It's a different gig. You got to sell. You go to JCPenney, nobody will even greet you at JCPenney. You go to Walmart today who's having trouble. Why? They're having trouble because they reduce the number of people in their organization in hopes that they can maintain a higher net profit. And you can't. Sooner or later, you're going to pay the price. At Walmart, the only time you get greeted at Walmart is when you're leaving the place because they're worried about you stealing something. Then you finally get greeted. Hey, thanks for coming. Let me see it. Let me see it. Did you really buy it? See, that doesn't make me feel good. I go there and I find the shelves aren't stocked, as you've seen in the papers recently. I go to Walmart today and see the shelves aren't stocked. I'm not coming back. How many agree you don't deal with a loyal customer today? Do you? Is the consumer loyal anymore? No. Dude, I buy what I want when I want. I'm not loyal to your product anymore. There's good products. I'm gonna give up the Apple phone. I guarantee you in the next couple of years I'm off Apple. And I'm on to the next thing. I'm not loyal the way my parents were. It used to be, hey, I bought a Ford product, You got people buying Ford trucks. A Ford truck's as much money as a BMW today. Everything's crossing over. This is a problem for us. If you're thinking about competition, then you're going to run into this flow of business where we have advertising, leads you're talking about today, people and process. This is where it breaks down. Would you agree? It's where it breaks down. It is two parties independently trying to get a third party and showing value, not just a cheaper price. So we just went and did this. Do we have audio on this? Oh, don't tell me we have audio. Okay, I'm going to back this up. We just did this 4 weeks ago here in Miami. We went out with dealers that spend tremendous money in advertising and asked dealerships, salespeople, managers, finance people, and general managers, tell me about your ad campaign. $30 billion. $30 billion was spent on advertising in the automobile industry last year. Google showed us a report, $615 a car. Watch what we found.
Tell me about the mailer that your store just recently sent.
Not really familiar with that. What mail piece? Is that a joke? Mail piece.
Who would the target customer be of a mail piece that you guys sent out?
We have a variety across the board. I think it's people locally. We hit everybody.
No, they don't really tell us that.
Do you know what full-page ad that your store is going to be running this weekend in the paper?
I'm pretty familiar with it. Yes.
A full-page ad? No, I do not.
Probably don't have one.
You run a full-page ad?
Not yet.
No.
Yeah, well, how about that? I know we're on every week. You know about that.
Probably wouldn't be able to tell you.
An ad is run for $40,000. They never actually tell the salesperson. The customer comes in with the ad. That's when we find out we actually have an ad.
On a scale from 1 to 10, how effective do you feel that the training is based on the specific ads and campaigns that you run?
2 to 4.
Personally, I think it's at about a 4 or 5.
It needs improvement.
1.
When an ad comes out, when do you get informed about it?
When the client tells us.
Yeah, on our Friday morning meeting.
Usually the day before or that day sometimes.
All depends.
Our Friday morning meeting, never.
When a customer comes in,
I feel like we don't a lot of times.
How often do you guys do sales training in your dealership?
never.
sales training is not actually something normal in the dealership.
We try to usually do something once a month.
Not enough.
I pick up a few bucks here and there. I think we need to have a little bit more awareness for the employees.
Education is not part of this business. It's just get out there and get them. That's all they tell you.
Hey, you know the first guy in the yellow shirt that says, hey, I don't know? He'll make 300 grand selling cars this year in Fairfax, Virginia, just outside of Washington, D.C., selling BMWs. Great salesperson, works for Sonic. Sonic will not allow him to go to seminars, won't pay for him to go to seminars, will only send people to seminars that's done internally because they want control. I completely understand that. This guy gets on a plane 4 times last year, flies to seminars to me around the country, Denver, Salt Lake City, and Miami, on his own nickel, pays for a hotel because he's committed to his career. Could he still be in a position that he doesn't know what ad we're running this weekend? So I ask you, why does this happen? Because it's not because you guys don't want to be great. You've been talking about greatness and leadership and all these really big ideas all morning. Why does this happen? Do you know? I know why it happens. This is why it happens. That's a manager in the middle of that picture. This is what one manager has to handle all day long. This manager wasn't even talking about Twitter and Google Plus and all the other 9,000 terms that go along with Google or mobile, much less going to the auction. Which auction do I go to? How do I book my flight? Oh, by the way, I'm not just a sales manager or a general sales manager. I also have a family, a marriage I'm trying to maintain. How many married people in the room? Yeah, like, hey, dude, I got a life, you know? I mean, I know I spend most of my life here, but I got a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old, and I got a marriage. How many married people in the room? Dude, that takes some work. It can be the most expensive thing you do in your life if you don't do it right. Right? It could be more expensive than your business. You got salespeople every day. We're talking about people, folks. You got people you hired. A man told me, Grant, we don't hire new people because we don't train them. And I just refuse to bring new people on and not prepare them. The reason the training doesn't happen is because the individual is overwhelmed. The manager can't do anymore. It's literally impossible. So a dealership told me, Grant, we expect the manager to do the training. Do you expect him to be your chiropractor too? Why don't you make him your marriage therapist? Are you going to have him do a rectal exam for you? What else is the guy supposed to do? He can't do anymore, man. What does he work a deal? Work a deal, buy a trade, okay? Call the auction, set up a flight. What else can he do? I suggest to you folks that people don't cost you money. People leverage the right way should make you sales. Walmart thinks that people cost money. People don't cost money. Missed sales cost money. Losing games cost money. This morning I talked to you about greatness. And I showed you a number of organizations. Does anybody remember some of the images I showed you this morning? What's the first thing that comes to your mind? Related to greatness. What was an image you The Marines. Do you know what a Navy SEAL, do you know what it costs the United States government to make a Navy SEAL? $1 million. What do you think it costs to make a LeBron? What's the difference between a sports team, like we heard about this morning? You know what they do? They spend tremendous money in recruiting and tremendous money in training and have multiple levels of coaches. They don't have one coach. They got coaches for defense, coaches for offense. Are they willing to go outside their organization and bring in coaches? Do you think they motivate people? Do they have sales meetings? Do they have briefings? Do they have debriefings? Yeah, they have all that. You know why? They know you don't win rings. You can't be great without recruiting great people and without training great people. So I encourage you to leave here. As you came here with a commitment for greatness, leave here and remember, we're not just talking about car deals and money. I need to remember when I'm looking at my financial statement or my net worth, hey, look, people got me there. Would you agree? A lot of hard work, but I need people. And if you're broken and you're a victim and you can't fly, I need to let you go. Go be with somebody else, because I don't want the bird flu. But if you're strong and you want it, and you want to stand up on your own 2 feet, and you want to go punch it out, I'm going to push you, I'm going to keep pushing you until you either reach greatness, achieve greatness, or you get to go work for somebody that's average and committed to being average, because average is an epidemic in this country that's killing this country. And I admire all of you out there that refuse average and demand greatness. Thank you very much.